Hello and good evening. Welcome to Unlocking Finance with your financial friend. My name is Ntombi and I help you as usual with your financial potential through simple, practical and biblical money principles. So tonight I'll be speaking about two things: controlling your space and controlling your time. Because your environment influences your discipline more than you realize. And also, wealth is not built in one moment. It is built through repeated, disciplined actions. So now let's speak about how environment shapes your behavior. The people around you, your family, your friends, your acquaintances, your church, your workspace, whatever people you surround yourself with, your neighbors, those people those people influence your spending. They influence your mindset, your habits, and your standards. And I spoke about it in the previous episode. Those things have an influence around how you spend, around how you think, around your habits and your standards. Your environment is never neutral. It's always geared towards a certain type of belief system or towards a certain type of value system. And so it is important for you to be able to understand this when you're building wealth, that you need to be aware of the environment that you're in, be aware of the environment in which you are building or you want to build this wealth, because everything around you has some form of influence towards that. Now, if we look at scripture in 1 Corinthians 15, verse 33, it says, "Bad company corrupts good character." That includes financial character too. Now, I'm sure we are quite aware of the things that are happening in our country with the different commissions and all of these things. Those are all a product of environments, surroundings. You will see one thing that you should be able to pick up, as you're watching, as you're seeing these things, is that all of these people are friends. These are people that hang around each other most of the time. So it's all about the people that you surround yourself with. They never go in as individuals. They always work as a group. They're surrounding themselves with one another. It's an environment. So for some people, they attain wealth through good means, and there are people that attain wealth through bad means. But it's important for you to do audits in terms of financial character. What type of surrounding do you want to have? You can have wealth regardless of the situation, but everything has a consequence to it. So it's important for you to surround yourself with the right people, the people whose values align with yours, whose values align with the word of the Lord. So it's important for you to do so. If we're looking into digital environments as well, those things matter. Those also contribute towards environments. So don't think that social media is not an environment. It is an environment because social media has people's different reactions and thoughts. It's an environment on its own. People have thoughts. People are more comfortable to speak about things. People feel more free because they are hiding behind profiles. They can go anonymous and say the most ridiculous things, but it is an environment on its own. And those things can also shape your desires. They contribute towards your insecurities. They contribute towards your lifestyle pressure and your financial decisions. And exposing yourself too much to luxury content, for example, can create pressure to perform financially. It can be a good pressure, it can be a bad pressure, depending on how you see it. But understand that the digital platforms also play a role in how you see things. So it's important also, like I said, when you're auditing your environment, who are you following? Who are the people that you look up to? Whose posts are you liking? And I think wealth building now is becoming more and more challenging because there's so much information. One of the challenges that I have, engaging on social media, especially, for example, with my fitness journey, is that one person will say, drink 8 glasses of water a day, and then the other one will say, don't drink 8 glasses a day because it's not good for you. Now you find yourself caught up in a situation where you do not know whether you should drink 8 glasses or not. And it becomes difficult. And that's why it's important, like I'm saying, to get some help, someone who's able to deal with you on a personal level, a financial advisor, a financial expert, an accountant that will be able to customize your financial journey for you instead of you just getting generalized advice based on what worked for another person as opposed to how it would work for you. So there's so much information out there. It's great, but it's also difficult because you need to be able to sift through what's correct and what's not. People can easily show up as finance experts with no experience, with no accreditation, and mislead you and lead you the wrong way. So while you are surrounded by all these things, it's important for you to audit based on where you are and what works for you. And make sure that you're following the right people. Make sure that you're getting the right information. And the best way to do so is to have a place where you can verify information. We're living in a time where we're so lazy to think for ourselves that we just take everything at face value. We consume it and we believe it. But you need to be in the habit of verifying things before you go ahead. Do not just take things. The Bible even says this, test the spirits. Get into the habit of the Berean spirit of having to verify. Even if the person is accredited, even with me, verify the things that I'm saying. Get into that habit to check if this is correct. Because at the end of the day, it's going to compromise your future. And that's why scamming and cyber crimes are so rampant, because we don't verify things. We see things and we believe it. Someone will send you money, or someone will send you a message saying you've won money, and you believe it and you click on that link and your money is gone. It's important for you to get into that verification mode every single time before you accept anything. Check, test your environments, whether it's physical environments, whether it's digital environments, because those things play a role. And they know. They have targets. All these cyber criminals, they know your vulnerabilities. They know what you need. And that also contributes. Also, what contributes towards that is how much you share on social media. Some of us might be sharing too much, giving people too much information, giving information about where you stay, information about your spending habits, the regular areas that you go to, sharing information about your children, about your family, while people are collecting this information and using those as vulnerable positions or vulnerable spots to attack you. So you need to also be careful in those areas and how you use your digital environment, how you engage in the digital environment. Now moving over, chaos destroys discipline. Chaotic environments weaken focus. If your environment is constantly creating stress, comparison, there's noise and distraction, it becomes difficult to be disciplined. It becomes difficult to maintain discipline. It cannot grow. Your finances cannot grow in chaos. Where there's consistent chaos all the time, there's fighting, there is distractions, there's noise all the time. You need to be able to manage that. You need to set yourself aside and say, maybe this is really not adding towards my situation. Chaos could be toxic relationships. Maybe you're in a relationship where every single time I want money, I want this, I want that. You might be in that situation. You might be in a position where people are entitled. You might be in a position where people just want stuff from you every single time. Or you have friendships that are making you feel bad for saying no to going to certain places because you can't afford it. That's chaotic. That's noise. Or you're in a situation where things are just draining for you mentally, emotionally, and it's not worth it. Audit those places. Audit those environments. Check if they're really contributing. Chances are they're not. Every single month, you're in the same position, if not worse, every single month because of chaos. Maybe it's time for you to start auditing that. Maybe it's time for you to start evaluating that. Start creating an environment that supports your growth. And you have control over that. Build a space that encourages peace. Like, you don't have to live in chaos all the time. Build a space that has structure. You don't have to live from hand to mouth. You don't have to think about things all the time. You need to be caught up in emotions, making decisions abruptly in the moment. Build spaces where you are encouraged to learn. You're not comfortable with where you are. You are challenged to grow on a regular basis. Build spaces where there's discipline. Build spaces where there's wisdom. Spaces that accommodate discipline, that do not label discipline as slavery. Oh my gosh, you every day, 5 o'clock. If environments don't accommodate that, then maybe go and find a space that can accommodate that, or build one for yourself. Build one where the language is progressive rather than being regressive. Sometimes changing your environment changes your future. So it's important to control your space, because what surrounds you shapes you. Protect your peace. Protect your focus. Protect your future. Now, when speaking about time, your time and how you spend your time reveals your priorities. Where your time goes, your future will follow. Repeated actions shape your identity. This is something that I do for myself on a regular basis as well, or how I do, what I do to determine what a person's priorities are. I look at your calendar, or I look at my calendar, and at the end of the day, I become realistic and say, okay, fine, this is what I plan to do today. But then at the end of the day, I look and say, but what did I do today? What took most of my time? What consumed me? I'll say that my priority is this, but practically, is it like that? If I do some stock taking, if I do some evaluation, based on how I've spent my day, would I really say that this is a priority still? Your time reveals what is important to you. As we look here in Ephesians 5 verse 15 to 16, it says, be careful how you live, making the most of every opportunity. This is such a crazy verse. It says, be mindful of how you live. Take count. Don't just spread yourself thin everywhere. Do not be everywhere doing everything. Be mindful of your time. Wasted time has financial consequences. Time wasted today often creates pressure tomorrow. Many people delay learning, budgeting, investing, and planning, and then later you'll feel behind financially. And I can attest to this as a licensed financial advisor when I have conversations with people that are close to retirement, especially, where they've made decisions or they've forgotten to invest in their retirement, or they've withdrawn money from their retirement accounts, and now retirement has arrived and there's no money. And so they're forced to have to work. They can't retire. They're tired, but they can't retire because they don't have money. Who's going to take care of them at retirement? So that's why it's important for us to manage our time, to be aware of the time. Young people, we can easily be deceived into thinking we have a lot of time. I can do it later. Hey, you think so? You might think that you might have to do it later, but you're compromising on things. You do not know how much you're compromising. I was making a comparison with a client of investing today and investing a year later, and it's something that we call the cost of delay, that they lost about over 500,000 worth of returns, of contributions, because they started late, because they thought they had time. No, I can do it later. If you do it later, it still costs something. It's called opportunity costs in economics. You deciding to pursue this thing now at the expense of something else, and you need to be comfortable or be okay with the decision that you made, because that's the decision that you made. And that's why it's important when it comes to time that you consider the opportunity cost. What is it that when you're making this decision, what other decision are you not making? At what cost are you making this decision? And calculate the cost, and from there, you'll be able to know whether the decision that you're making now is worth your time or not. Small habits build big results. Wealth building is boring. I say this all the time. It's not about tricks and, methods and secrets. It's really boring work. It's doing the same thing continuously. It's repetition. Like I said, it's like going to the gym. If you go to the gym for the first time today, you're not going to have muscles. You're not going to lose the weight today. It's something that you repeatedly have to do to begin to see results. Wealth building is the same thing. Having to save consistently. learning consistently, planning, improving consistently. Those small actions compound over time. Wealth building is all about compounding, the power of compounding. Now also, add structure. Structure creates progress. Your schedules will help you remain disciplined. They show you that you made a commitment towards something and now you have to commit to it. Planning your week. I was so surprised by how many people actually don't plan their weeks. Just enter the week, for vibes. But it shouldn't be like that. You should plan your week every week. I do it on Sundays, Mondays, the beginning of the week. You need to know what you're doing on Sunday. You need to know what you're doing on Saturday from Monday. You need to know what's happening. You can't just let things just happen. And someone comes to your house and say, hey, let's rock, let's go. No. You need to know, okay, no, this is not the time to do this. I need to stick to this. Some of us have mismanaged time. And because of that, that's why we're broke most of the time. Because every week someone is coming to your house and saying, let's go. Maybe if you manage your time, you'll be able to say, maybe not. Not this time. Because that prioritizes your money. It shows your priorities. And it also creates momentum. So when you are contributing, maybe you're contributing 500 Rand towards a retirement annuity on a regular basis, create that momentum. Wealth building is about momentum building. It's about becoming. I say this all the time. It's about becoming. And how do you become? By building that momentum of making that decision every single time, consistently, that this is what you're going to be working towards. You don't have to wait for $1 million to land on your table. You can just create that $1 million. You can build that $1 million by consistently showing up. So in closing, remember to control your time because repeated actions build your future. Small disciplined moments eventually create major transformation. Well, that's it for me tonight. Thank you so much for joining me on Unlocking Finance with your financial friend. My name is Ntombi. Make sure that you reach out to me on social media at Your Financial Friend on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Let me know how this has helped you. Let me know when you need help with all of that stuff, and I will definitely assist you where I can. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Have a good night.